Well, Happy New Year, everyone. Happy 2026. And I hope for all of you, you have your best year ever. And I'm determined to do that. And like I've said, for all of my life, every year I feel gets better and better. And yes, there's always ups and downs in everybody's life. And there's things that go well, there's things that don't go so well, be it personally, professionally, with family. But I think you've got to make the most of this short time that you're here, and that's essentially what I'm trying to do. I thought I'd talk to you today about some of my goals and objectives for 2026, cover my areas of fitness, what I want to do with business, reading, my family. So it's not going to be too long, but I think the thing for me is if you get something from it, fabulous. And I'd really love to hear what other people are doing. I really love learning from other people who are succeeding in life and transforming their lives or living the best life. And really, if there's anyone out there that feels they could share something with me that would, if I incorporated it into my life, would give me a step change, then I'm all eyes and ears. So look, the whole purpose of this video was I heard these two experts talking about how you slow down in your 40s and 50s and you can't exercise so hard, you need lots of sleep. And it infuriated me so much that I started these vlogs because I just don't feel like that at all. I turned 30 at the 30 at the end of this month. I turn 50, and I'm hoping that I can track my progress because I still feel physically and mentally incredibly energized. I feel I've got more energy than ever. So my first objective, my goal is fitness orientated, and that is I'm going to be running a marathon. I've already got that booked. I'm going to be doing that in mid-April. That's fine, that's booked in, I'm going to do it. The second goal is a bit trickier. That is, I'm going to aim for a 3 out of 10 or sub 3 out of 10. And I think that's going to really hurt, actually. With my training at the minute, I'm upping the mileage quite substantially. I said I was going to do 300 kilometers in December. I actually did 302, and I was delighted because at the end of a long run, about 15, 16 kilometers, I thought, if this says I've still got another 15 kilometers to go, then I'll do it, but it was going to be tricky. This month I'm going to be doing 320 kilometers, and so I'm going to be doing longer runs, but I'm going to be doing them at a quicker pace, and it does hurt. I think if you're going to run fast and break records, then you need to realise it is not easy. It does hurt, and that takes physical resilience. It also takes a lot of mental resilience. I think when I was running some of my best times, almost as soon as I was running, it was hurting. It was just holding on to the pain. And it's in those areas actually that you get the most gains physically and mentally. Physically, you get fitter when you push yourself harder, harder, harder. It's like working to failure with muscles. And mentally, it's just showing that you can do it, telling yourself that you can do it. So reading, I'm going to actually read here so I can remember some of the books that I love to read and reread, and then some new books. But if you've got any recommendations for me, I'd love to hear it. The first one, my first book that I keep going back to all the time is The Magic Story. I read it for the first time last year, and I love the premise of a positive and a negative entity, and they can't dwell in your body at the same time, and it's the decision of who you're going to be. Are you going to be the meek, mild version of yourself, or are you going to be this positive entity that can almost achieve anything it puts its mind to, and is built in the image of God? And I just love that thought of making that choice of the positive entity. So please read it if you can. It's very, very short. It'll probably take you 20, 30 minutes to read it, but I hope you get as much out of it as I did. The Alchemist, I love that book. I also really love the audiobook. There's a very famous actor who reads it. I think it may be Jeremy Irons from memory on Audible. I love Audible, by the way. But it's just a beautiful book. There's so many hidden messages in it. I know a lot of people, some people read it and don't get anything out of it, but I really did. I just love the whole love story about it, and how sometimes the pot of gold is the life you're in now. It's almost the journey is the pot of gold. The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. I love that book. Again, it's a great audio book. And I love anything by Napoleon Hill. On YouTube, actually do some great Napoleon Hill series. And I think Napoleon Hill was most famous for Think and Grow Rich, although he may have done the thing about how to grow friends or something like that. I'm really messing that up, but how to make friends and influence people, or something like that. It's a great book as well. So my all-time favourite books: fiction, Count of Monte Cristo, Dune, Great Expectations, Captain Blood, Scarlet Pimpernel. I love anything like that, but I was reflecting a lot of them are male orientated, so I'm sure there must be some fantastic books out there that have female leads. So if you could share those with me, that would be absolutely wonderful. I'm also keen to get more into Joe Dispenza, or Dispenza, I think you pronounce it. He talks about tapping into other realities. Whether you do or not, I guess we'll never know. But he talks a lot about visualization, visualizing the person you want to be and telling yourself the person you don't want to be. And I do love that idea. And I can't see how things like that will fail. I think if you manifest the image of this perfect person in your mind, eventually, with enough work, you will step into that individual. I think it's the same premise of the Magic Story, which is probably why it resonates with me. But I'm going to get into him. And over the years I've read or listened to Tony Robbins. Never been to one of his events. He can be quite loud and quite brash, but sometimes that's what you need. Very good, and he's a leading expert. So if you could give me any more recommendations, anything like Dune, Scarlet Pimpernel, something you think I would really love, then please let me know. Okay, work-wise, I've touched on this a few times, but it was not difficult, but it was testing for me last year. I was actually let go from my job. I was in quite a senior role, been in senior roles for a number of years now, as the managing director of a fabulous business dealing with chemotherapy, which is something very close to my heart. Sadly, my brother was very ill with cancer when he was 13, 14, and it's something that hurt me quite a lot at the time, to see somebody that you love so much and is so fit almost lose them. And so it's almost wonderful for me that I'm now working in a field that actively helps people with these issues, although there's a massive issue with supply of these products. So I was let go, and it was a real surprise because the business was a very mature business, and in 2 years we grew it as a team from 3 million to 16 million a month. We made all the systems and processes, and I brought in a lot of expertise, brilliant people that I've worked with before, and then all of a sudden you get pulled in. I didn't want to go into why. I'm not into negativity about you're not good enough at X, Y, Z, whatever. Okay, I've not got time for that in my life. Just I'm moving on. So this year I'm either going to be doing something myself to really help the NHS with cancer provision. There's a lot of help that I think they need, not because the NHS is not capable. There's some amazing, capable people in there, but there is a gap with supply. Or I'll be doing something, running another business that is in the healthcare field. I'm very, very passionate about that. The one thing that I am proud of myself with, and this is just who I am, is that even the time out of work, I keep disciplined. So I'm still up at 5:30, still doing my run. I still work, be it learning a new skill, networking, learning more about the industry, learning about other industries and how that can apply to this industry. I've still been doing 5, 6, 7 hours a day of work. And actually, you know, when you're an MD, your role is split between 50% operational and 50% strategic. So I've probably gone more 90% strategic and learning new skills, which is great. And I feel as prepared as ever. And I've still got an amazing a group of people that I've worked with over the years that just want to support me and work with me again. So who knows where I'll be at the end of this year, but it's going to be in a great place. I know that. I know that for a fact. Maybe I'll be working with one of you who's listening to this. I hope so. I really hope so. I want to make a difference. So anyone who wants to make a difference to people, to the world, let me know. Personal, so life, travel. I want to go to Dubai this year if I can, turning 50, go to Dubai with my family, somewhere where the weather's always guaranteed. It's very clean, very safe. Not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm very sci-fi. I love the technology of Dubai. It looks very futuristic to me. And I'm also going on a family holiday to Crete, which I'm really looking forward to. Love Crete, so I'll probably be going there July, August. So it'll be very warm, fantastic. Just be there with the family. Go all inclusive, so you're not worried about the bill at the end of the week. And then I've also got a trip with friends, very close friends from school. We've remained friends for 40 years now. Unbelievably, we're all the same. All very kind, all very hardworking, all massively into our fitness, never done drinking or drugs. And look, even if you've done that, everyone can turn their life around, but we've just never been into that. And we all sound the same, look the same. We do massive fitness challenges. They're all lovely husbands, fathers, want to make a difference to the world. So just a great bunch of people. So, and we act like teenagers, you know, giggling about stupid in-jokes that nobody else would find funny. If we probably reflected on it, they're probably not funny, but it's just stuff that you build up over the years. And then habits. So, of course, I'm always striving to be a better father, a better husband. I'd really love to grow this channel if I can, but I'll probably have to make it a bit more sophisticated, a bit more punchy with my delivery. I am, as I say, I am quite monotone, and I'll be working on that, you know, but the setting isn't great. So this is, we had to move quickly because my wife was very lonely. We used to live in Bath. Her family's in Manchester. We moved here. It was rented. Then we bought the rented house, which was fabulous. So we weren't moving again. But as you can probably tell, this is going to be a study. But we inherited a bed. I need to get that bed shifted because it looks very unprofessional when I'm doing these videos. And I'd also love to start interviewing other people, if I can, who are very successful in whatever they do, be it mentally, physically, financially, run a great business, be it a charity, got a great mindset. You know, I'm never down in the dumps. I'm never really down in the dumps, probably half a morning a month, and then like, sort yourself out and I'm fine again. So really, like every year, this is a year of excitement. It's a year of growth. I'm under no illusion that something will come along and give me a big wobble. As always, that is life. It's how you deal with those big wobbles. I never like to dwell on much, which is also a message from the Magic Story that, again, I'd really love you to read. And you know, once again, I want to end with, I hope you have a fantastic 2026, and I would really love you to share any goals, any objectives, or any books that you think I would really learn from and grow from. And I'd love to hear about how we can help each other on this journey of life. So have a good day, my friends, and speak to you soon.